How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about circumventing Apple's planned obsolescence on their iPhones. You see, part of building wealth is to minimize your yearly costs for any good that you're using. Now, if you're able to buy something at a really low price and use it for as long as possible, then your average yearly cost is going to be very little. This is my iPhone 5. In 2 months, I would have used it for 3 years. You see, it's really banged up around the edges, but I still did not crack the phone. I've had previous versions of the iPhone before, and what I've noticed is that every time I upgrade the OS, the whole thing gets a little bit slower. It may not be very noticeable the first time that you upgrade, but if you upgrade the OS maybe 2-3 times, you'll start to see it slow down. Now, there's no reason to force you to get an update that makes your phone slower, other than trying to make your phone slower and slower so that you would actually upgrade later on. Now, on their end, there's no real proof saying that they're actually doing this on purpose. It's kind of like using hard disk space. When you have it, you tend to use it up. So I assume those guys in Cupertino, they have all this faster and faster iPhone hardware each generation that comes after. They might go, oh yeah, let's use all this fancy graphics because they have all this extra CPU cycles to use. So even when you're at the home screen and you're just moving it around, it's going to use more and more CPU power as you upgrade the OS. Now, if they're designing it to the latest hardware, every single time they upgrade one of this hardware, it's like, oh, 1.5 times faster, 2 times faster. That means if you upgrade to the latest OS on your older devices is going to be 1.5 or 2x slower. Now, how do they get you to actually upgrade the OS? It's actually very, very persistent and very, very annoying. Now, the OS on these things actually downloads itself. If you barely have enough room, it would still download it and take up all this space. Now, what you can do with your phone is actually go and delete it manually. But even if you delete it, if you have enough space, it's going to try to re-download it every single time anyways. So you're going to get one of these prompts like this. So every time you turn on your phone, it's going to go, hey, why don't you update? And you have to go later, 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 later. To me, this is really unreasonable because I am personally trying to use this phone for as long as I can. Other people that upgrades think that, oh yeah, it's just something that they do to upgrade the security features, to add features, etc. So people are willingly upgrading, but yet they do not know after they do it a couple times, 3 or 4 times usually, their OS gets slow enough that they really go, oh, my phone is so slow, they have an iPhone 6, they need the next iPhone or something. If you do the update, it doesn't take much to realize that, yeah, you're gonna go and update it right here, you get all these new features, but then you're getting screwed on the other end. Now, if you research how to actually circumvent this updating, what you can do is just go into your settings over here and actually delete the update file every single time it downloads. Now, this is not going to work very well if you ever log into a Wi-Fi hotspot where it counts your data, such as one of the LTE hotspots that you have to pay per gigabyte, then it's not going to end very well because it's going to download all this data and you're going to end up having to pay for it. Now, you can say don't ever download the update through cellular. It's still going to update it through Wi-Fi. So whenever you connect your device to Wi-Fi, it's going to do this in the background, take up data, and then you're going to end up with the update file again. One of the things you can do to prevent the update is go inside your router and block the update address so that your phone can never reach it. This is a good solution for the most part, but if you ever connect to a free Wi-Fi hotspot, it's going to yet download again. And while you're connected to this free hotspot, it's going to suck up all this data. Your phone is going to drain in battery because it's downloaded all this stuff. So blocking the update server is one method, but it's not a foolproof method. One idea that I came up with is you can actually go in your phone, go to your camera and record the highest quality video that you can. Record 1-minute increments and you just stick them somewhere until you fill up all your space, just enough so that it's more than the update file size. For example, the current iOS update is 10.2. I'm still on 9.2. The size of the update file is about 913 megabytes. So if you go in your preferences and you just record a whole bunch of videos until you have less than 913 or something, then it's never going to be able to download this update file for you. Whenever you're low in space, you can go back to your video files, delete some of them, and then you got to make sure to delete it from the recently deleted as well in order to free up that space. And then you can delete up to the point where it's less than the size of the update file, and then the thing will never update again. I hope these tips help you be able to prolong the usage of your phone. Just remember that if you do refuse to update to the latest iOS, you're not going to get the latest features, of course. And sometimes they might say, oh yeah, they're plugging up some security holes. But when you fall into this trap, of actually needing those features, then yeah, your hardware is going to get slower and slower as you install these new updates. It's a bit of a trade-off, and you might just have to stop updating at some point in order to prolong your phone. Otherwise, your phone is just going to get obsoleted by this forcing of the iOS. I hope you enjoyed this way of circumventing Apple's planned obsolescence. Don't forget to give me a like on this video, comment down below. Let me know if you actually do the same thing, or maybe you prefer to upgrade every 2 years. I don't know. If you do, then let me know. If you're interested in supporting this channel, don't forget to check out my Audible link down in the video description below, where you can get a free audiobook. And if you don't like the audiobook or the service, you can cancel it, not pay a thing. You can still keep the audiobook and help benefit this channel as well. If you're into video games, I also have a 30-day free trial for Gamefly down below. It's kind of like a Netflix for video games. And if you don't like the service, you can also cancel that before the trial period ends and you don't have to pay a thing. I also have a Patreon over here, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.